What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to talk to you about EDC. No, not that EDC. Everyday Carry. So what is EDC, Everyday Carry, and why am I talking about it? So someone's EDC setup is something that they carry with them every single day. Whether you're a girl and you're carrying a purse and makeup or whatever you have with you, or if you're a dude who carries a knife and a gun and things like that. Your everyday carry is literally stuff that you carry with you every single day. The reason I'm making this video is because I am into knives and guns, if you haven't figured that out by now. And there's a huge section of YouTube where people dedicate their time to make EDC videos and to show everyone what they carry, give people ideas of what they might want to carry to make their lives easier, or just to learn about new gadgets and things like that. So I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. If you have any questions about anything that I'm carrying that I don't answer in this video, feel free to leave a comment and I will try to answer it as best as possible. So first things first, what can you never leave your house without? Keys, wallet, cell phone. So my keys being one of the most important things on me, ride right here on my hip outside of my pants, and I have always carried them on this black diamond carabiner. I've tried different carabiners throughout the years, but this one has just been with me for the longest time. I don't know how, because it's plastic, it's kind of bendy and whatnot, but yeah, I've had this thing for probably like 5 years. Also on my keys are my key fob to my car and a Gerber Chard. This Gerber Chard is like a mini multi-tool, like as minimal as you can possibly get. I keep it on a little carabiner so I can take it off of the big one. And as you can see, it has a mini pry bar here with 2 tips that you could use as a screwdriver, a bottle opener, which I use probably the most out of anything on here, and then up top it even has a Phillips head screwdriver on it. So that's nice. It comes in handy when you're trying to like open anything. I can't tell you how many times I pulled out my pocket knife and used the tip to pry something before I had this. It's not good to do that with your knives. The tips could break and everything, but yeah, that thing has been with me for a long time. Oh, and I've wrapped it in paracord. Next up, my phone. I'm an Android fan, so I carry a Google Nexus 6P made by Huawei. Great camera, great screen, great everything. My theory with buying phones is that if you are consuming so much media on your phone, I don't understand why you would want a little screen. So since I'm always on YouTube and Instagram, you can actually follow my EDC specific Instagram right here. I wanted the biggest, nicest screen possible, and this thing definitely fits the bill. After dropping my other Nexus 6P about a month ago, I shattered the screen. It was a mess. I will always leave this in the case, and I will always be rocking a screen protector. On the back side of this case, I have this little metal plate that allows me to mount my phone in my car. It's just a little magnetic mount that sticks on my window, and you just throw it up there and it sticks. Never falls off, never had a problem. Pretty good idea. This thing right here is actually new as of today. It's called a pop socket. So it sticks to your phone and it pops up off the back like that to give you something to hold on to the phone with. You can also wrap headphones around it and things like that, or if you place it in the middle of the phone, you can bend it sideways and use it as a stand. So far, I really like this thing. The phone is really big, so I'm always wrapping my pinky around the bottom of the phone, and if I'm holding it above my face when I'm laying in bed at night or something, it's really hard to reach all the corners of the screen while you're doing that. So now I'll be able to hold it just like this, and I can reach the whole phone with just my thumb. It's pretty neat, and it folds up. It's not very thick, so I've had it in my pocket all day so far, and it's pretty cool. So the next thing that I won't spend too much time on is my wallet. This is my Trayvax Contour. If you haven't seen my video on this wallet or my other Trayvax wallets, click this link right here. I did a full video on all the information on all of them. I've been using Trayvax wallets for a couple of years now, and I can't say enough good things about their wallets and also the company itself. I carry about 8 cards in the Contour with some cash in the back, and then riding up front here is a Go comb. I found this comb on Amazon, and the reason that I carry it is obviously because I have a beard. This thing gets really out of control most of the time, so I need something to keep it in line. Not only does this comb work, but it looks pretty cool too, so when it's riding in the front of my Trayvax Contour, it looks pretty cool. Next up is also another Trayvax wallet. This is the original Trayvax, and this is what I keep my business cards in. I still have about 250 of these left, so if you ever want some, let me know. I will give you as many as you want. I'm trying to make some new ones soon, so yeah. The reason I carry my business cards in the Trayvax original is because it protects the corners of the business cards. I used to carry them in the other Trayvax wallet that I had, but the corners would kind of get a little bit smushed, so this keeps all the cards nice and neat, and I can carry pretty much as many as I want. Now let's get into the good stuff, the knives. I've never made any knife videos in the past, but people have actually left comments on other videos when I'm opening packages and actually are commenting on the knife. So it's really cool that some of you guys watching this are into knives as well. So yeah, let's talk about what I carry normally. In my front right pocket, you will normally find this guy. This is a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It's an awesome knife, and I've been carrying Spyderco knives for the longest time now. This blade in particular is rocking the CPM S30V steel. It's a great steel, and the full flat grind makes it awesome for pretty much anything you want to do with it. Whether you're opening packages, opening letters, even food prep. I've cut steak and stuff with this. It's just an all-around really awesome knife. And the compression lock in the back is super smooth. I'd say this is probably one of my top 3 favorite knives ever, so this thing is pretty much always with me. I used to also carry a Benchmade grip Talon for probably a year or 2. That thing also finds its way into the rotation sometimes, but this is the primary one. Since I like the Paramilitary 2 so much, I went out and bought the Yojimbo 2. This is a Wharncliffe blade, and it just looks awesome. It is dirty, I use it, I open boxes with it and everything like that. Both these knives could be sharpened, but whatever. This blade is rocking the same kind of steel as the Paramilitary 2. Both these handle scales are made out of G10, so they're really thin and they're really light, easy to carry. You kind of forget that they're in your pocket. Next up, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, especially in the winter months, I like to carry a flashlight with me. A lot of people carry flashlights in their EDC setup, so I figured I'd give it a try. This is a Streamlight Protac rocking 1 AA battery. This thing's a pretty great light. It has a solid on, double tap for strobe mode, and triple tap for low mode. I'm really not that into flashlights, but it definitely beats just a flash on the back of your phone, so this thing has come in handy more times than I can count. I normally carry a Streamlight Micro, but one of my friends took it from me at a party and never gave it back, so if you're out there watching this, you still gotta give me that back. And last but not least, the gun. Now before I get into this, let me say that I'm not going to be talking about philosophy of use or talk about why I carry a gun. I'll just simply say that I obviously like guns, I'm licensed to carry them, and it's my right, so why not? With that being said, this is my custom Glock 19. Do a safety check for all you nerds out there. Magazine out, chamber's clear, safe direction. So I've owned this firearm for about a year now, and I can definitely say that it is my favorite gun that I own at this moment. I mean, what gun is better than the gun that's with you all the time? So this is my Gen 4 Glock 19 in 9mm. As you can see, there's a bit of custom work done to the frame. I've switched out some things on the gun to make it my own and make it a little more shooter friendly. And I'm good at shooting it. This thing fits in my hand extremely well, especially after all the modifications that I've done to the frame. And I'm comfortable with shooting it. So if you're ever thinking about carrying a gun, that's one of the most important things, is that you're comfortable with shooting it. Before I talk about the modifications, I might as well talk about the holster that it rides in. This is a sticky holster, which I found at a local gun show, I believe a year or 2 ago. This company makes these holsters to fit pretty much every type of gun that I've ever seen. If they don't have one made specifically for the model of gun that you want to carry, they have some generic ones that'll fit most gun shapes and sizes. So this one is made specifically for the Glock 19. And the way it works is that it's made out of this material. It's literally a sticky holster. So the pressure between your body and the belt that you're putting it inside your waistband will be enough pressure to hold the holster in place even while you're drawing the gun. If you want to learn more about these holsters, there's a ton of videos on YouTube already about them, so just go check them out. Alright, into the modifications. Now, any modifications done to Glocks, they're really not necessary because the guns are great as they come. However, there are things that can be improved upon, so that's basically what I've done to this gun. First thing that I do to all my Glocks is I add this extended slide stop lever. If you're into Glocks at all, you'll know that the slide lever is normally flat across here. This is actually a Glock factory part. They just add a little tab on the end of it. That way you can release the slide a little bit easier. The next thing I did, and the thing that most people do, is I changed out the factory sights. The factory sights on most Glocks are the plastic little U-shaped sights. Granted, they're not the best sights, but they do work. I know a lot of people knock them all the time, but I never had a problem shooting them for about a year. These sights that I put on here are the Trijicon HD night sights. It's obviously going to be hard to tell right now, but these things in the dark glow like LEDs. They're extremely bright, they're filled with tritium gas, and I'm not sure why I didn't get them sooner. They're really awesome sights, and I can't say enough good things about these either. The most extreme mod that I've done to this so far is obviously all the framework. This framework was done by Danger Close Armament. It did take them a while to do this frame, however I'm glad that I waited because the end result is awesome. If you go to them for any kind of framework, there's a ton of different options that you can pick out when you're choosing what you want. I went with a pretty standard Glock package. In the back, I did not add a beaver tail. I removed the finger grooves, I undercut the trigger guard, have a shooter's index cut, and an index point for my finger up here. Not only do these frame modifications make the gun look better, but it also makes the gun way easier to shoot. With the undercut trigger guard, you can get a higher grip on the gun, and without the finger grooves there, you can grip the full thing without getting any hot spots. The thumb ledge on the side here is perfect for indexing when you want to get a proper grip. And overall, I'm really glad that I did this to the gun. The last and most recent thing that I've done was install this Agency Arms flat face trigger. While there's nothing wrong with the Glock factory trigger, this thing has made my shooting improve drastically. If you've looked into shooting dynamics at all, you'll know that a flat face trigger will most likely make you shoot straighter and more accurate than like the rounded Glock triggers are. The good thing about these triggers is that it utilizes all the stock Glock internals. I even took their included trigger connector and replaced it with the stock one that came in this gun. The gun shoots way better than I thought it ever would, and I'm really happy with it. The trigger has a very predictable break, and the reset is just as good, if not better, than it was stock. A lot of people say that adding aftermarket triggers is not good for a carry weapon. To each his own. If you're trained properly and you're using your gun in a self-defense situation, modifications that you do to the gun are not going to determine whether you were in the right or wrong. Riding inside the gun are Hornady critical defense. From my experiences, these are pretty reliable rounds. I never had an issue with them, but I know some people do have an issue with the rubber inserts, hitting a polished feed ramp and things like that, and jamming. But I haven't had any issues. I would like to try the Federal HSTs in the future, but I just haven't gotten around to picking up a box of that yet. One last note on guns. If you're not comfortable with carrying it with a round in the chamber, you probably shouldn't be carrying a gun in the first place. Go out, practice with the gun, do everything you need to do until you're comfortable with it, take some courses, just learn a lot about the gun until you're confident enough to do that. That's enough preaching, and that's my EDC setup. If you guys had any questions about anything that I carry, like I said, let me know in the comments down below. Hope you learned something, and if you did, feel free to leave a thumbs up or consider subscribing if you're new to my channel. That's all for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.